In the family group chat, my stepdad sent a pros and cons list about dating me, so I sent one back about dating him. I was lying in bed scrolling through my phone when the family group chat buzzed. It's just me, my mom, and my stepdad Damien. I clicked on it and it was named Pros and Cons of Dating OP. When I opened it, my heart dropped. The first thing under pros was about my body. Pro number 1, looks good in any outfit. Number 2, doesn't wear much makeup, a lot of natural beauty. Number 3, would be a good wife. I kept reading because part of me couldn't believe what I was seeing. Under cons, it said stubborn and resistant. My hands started shaking. This was my stepdad writing about me like I was some kind of option he was considering. Then my mom replied in the chat, she gets the stubborn thing from me LOL, but I agree. Pros outweigh the cons. I read that message 5 times. My own mother just agreed with a list objectifying her daughter. I felt sick, actually nauseous, but more than that, I felt angry, and I knew exactly how I was going to handle it. I walked downstairs slowly. I needed a second to get my thoughts together. When I got to the living room, the TV was off. No music, just silence. My mom was on the couch with a glass of wine. Damien was next to her, smiling at me like we were about to have a nice family chat. Neither of them looked ashamed. Sit down, my mom said. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. So, she said, Damien tells me you've been making him uncomfortable all summer. Flirting with him, walking around in barely any clothes and bending over cupboards to tempt him. Is that true? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Are you serious right now? He's the one who's been creepy with me. Damien smiled like it was some sort of inside joke. My mom rolled her eyes. I continued, the rage building inside me. Damien has walked in on me changing 3 times in the past month. I turned to face Damien. You're an effing freak. The only reason I haven't talked about it sooner is because you make mom happy. Damien shook his head slowly like I was embarrassing myself. See, this is what I was talking about. She twists everything. I've been nothing but nice to her and she takes it the wrong way. My mom looked at me like I was the problem. You always do this. You always make things difficult. You know what? It's time I told you the truth. I'm done hiding this from you. Then she reached behind the couch and grabbed a folder. She slid it across the coffee table toward me. Open it. I thought maybe it was something about the house rules, or maybe they were kicking me out. I opened it. It was adoption papers, with my name on it. I looked up at my mom. She was just sitting there sipping her wine like she hadn't just destroyed everything I thought I knew about my life. You're not my biological daughter, she started. I adopted you because I needed the child support checks from your father, but I never really considered you family. Not really. So when Damien told me that he'd give me a car if I let him have a chance with you, it was a no-brainer. My whole body went cold. I couldn't speak. I couldn't even breathe. Damien leaned forward. The list wasn't a joke. I like you, and your mom doesn't care what happens between us. So why don't we just make this easy? He put his hand on my knee. I pulled away immediately. My mom tilted her head. You should really think about this. If you make things difficult, you'll never see your little brother again. I'll make sure of it. They thought they had me trapped. They thought I had no move left, but they didn't know what I knew. I stayed completely calm. I pulled out my phone and opened the group chat. My mom asked, what are you doing? I didn't respond. Instead, I typed out my own pros and cons list about Damien. Under pros, I wrote good at golf. Under cons, I wrote cheater. Then I attached the photo I'd been saving for weeks and sent it to the group chat. Ding. Their phone buzzed with the notification of the list I'd sent the group chat. When they opened it, my mom's face went pale. Damien dropped his phone on the ground. I just laughed. I'd sent a photo I'd taken 2 days ago of Damien kissing my grandma on my mom's side. My mom looked at Damien like she wanted to kill him. What the hell is this? Damien started stammering. Babe, that's not what it looks like. She's lying. She edited that. It's not edited, I said. I took it myself 3 weeks ago when you thought I wasn't home. They started screaming at each other and I walked out the front door. It's funny because it really was edited LOL.
I checked my teenage daughter's location during her first driving lesson. She'd left the country. I stared at my phone thinking the app must be glitching. My 15-year-old daughter Mia was supposed to be in a parking lot learning to parallel park, not crossing into Belgium. I called her immediately. She picked up on the 4th ring and her voice sounded strange. Hey dad, Mia, where are you? There was a pause that lasted way too long. I'm at my driving lesson. Then why does your location say you're in Belgium? Another pause. I heard a man's voice in the background say something I couldn't make out. Then Mia said, the app must be broken. I have to go. We're about to start. She hung up on me. My daughter has never hung up on me in her entire life. I called her back and it went straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. I called the driving school and a woman answered. This is Hans Visser Driving Academy. How can I help you? Hi, my daughter Mia has a lesson right now with one of your instructors. Can you confirm she's there? Let me check the schedule. I heard typing. I'm sorry, sir. I don't see any lessons booked for this afternoon. My blood went cold. That's impossible. She left 2 hours ago for a 2 p.m. lesson. Our 2 p.m. instructor called in sick this morning. We called all his students to reschedule. Nobody called us. Let me check. More typing. It looks like we left a voicemail at 9 a.m. I hadn't checked the home phone. Then who picked up my daughter? The woman went quiet. Sir, I don't know. I hung up and called Mia again. Voicemail. I checked her location and she was even further into Belgium now, still moving. I grabbed my keys and ran to my car. I called my wife. Mia's in trouble. Someone has her. She's in Belgium. What? Track her phone? I'm driving there now. I was doing 150 on the highway trying to catch up to a moving target. My wife called me back. I called the police. They said they can't do anything until she's been missing 24 hours. She's been kidnapped. They said we don't have proof of that. I wanted to scream. I called Mia again and this time she answered. Dad, please stop calling. Her voice was shaking. Mia, tell me where you are. I can't. Is someone hurting you? No. Is someone making you say this? Silence. Then the man's voice again, closer this time. Mia, who are you talking to? She whispered, I have to go, and hung up. I drove faster. My wife kept tracking her and feeding me updates. She stopped moving. She's at an address in Antwerp. I was still 40 minutes away. Call the Belgian police. I don't know how. Google it. My phone rang and it was an unknown number. I answered. Mr. Backer? It was a man's voice. Who is this? My name is Detective Hendricks. Your wife contacted us about your daughter. She's in Antwerp. I have the address. We know. We've had that address under surveillance for 6 months. My whole body went numb. What do you mean surveillance? What is that place? Mr. Backer, I need you to stay calm and tell me everything you know about the man who picked up your daughter today. I told him everything. The driving school, the fake lesson, the sick instructor, the voicemail we never got. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, the man who has your daughter is not a driving instructor. His name is Carol Jansen. He poses as an instructor to gain access to teenage girls. Access for what? Mr. Backer, please stay on the line and keep driving. We're sending units to the address now. What does he do to them? We believe he sells them. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. I almost drove off the road. Mr. Backer, stay with me. How far away are you? 30 minutes. We'll have her before before you get there. I drove those 30 minutes in complete silence with the phone on speaker, listening to Detective Hendricks coordinate with his team. I heard them say, approaching the residence and visual on the vehicle and target is inside. Then I heard them break down the door. I heard shouting. I heard a man screaming. And then I heard Mia. She was crying and saying, Dad, Dad, and someone had put her on the phone. I'm coming, baby, and I'm almost there. When I pulled up to that house, there were 6 police cars outside. Carl Janssen was face down on the pavement in handcuffs, blood running from his nose. A female officer was walking Mia toward an ambulance, and I jumped out of my car and ran to her. She collapsed into my arms, sobbing. He said he was going to take me somewhere I'd never come back from. He said by tonight I'd be gone. I held her so tight I thought I might break her. The detective walked over and said, You saved her life, Mr. Backer. If you hadn't tracked her location, we wouldn't have known which safe house he was using. We've been trying to find this one for months. I looked over at Janssen on the ground. He looked back at me with dead eyes and smiled. A cop kicked him in the ribs and told him to keep his head down. Carl Janssen is awaiting trial for trafficking 14 girls over 3 years. Mia was almost number 15. Right before my mom picked me up from school, a girl asked, Can I hop in the back of your car? What? Why? But she just looked over her shoulder like someone was watching, then grabbed my arm. Please, my mom's gonna be here any minute. Don't let her take me. I had never seen her in my classes before, but she genuinely looked terrified. What do you mean, take you? And that's when the tears started streaming down her face. My mom pulled up to the curb right then, and I could see her watching me confused. The girl started to panic. Please, there's no time. Just let me get in. I didn't know what to do, but judging by how panicked she was, I knew something bad was definitely gonna happen if I left her there. Okay, just tell me what's going on when you get in. I opened the back door for her, and she immediately hugged me, saying, Oh my God, thank you, thank you. As soon as we got inside, my mom said, is this your new girlfriend, honey? She had no idea what was happening. Mom, this is serious. She's in danger. And when my mom turned around and saw the tears flowing down her face, she knew I wasn't lying. The girl says, I'm sorry. I just heard my mom on the phone this morning. She was setting up a buyer for me. It took us a second to process what she just said. A buyer? Like your mom was gonna sell you? The girl nodded, still crying. Yes, to the creepy men who always watch me. I'm sorry I can't stop crying. They said I'm worth more if I don't cry. My mom looked horrified. She immediately reached for her phone to call the cops, but as soon as she dialed 911, the girl shouted, No, please just drive. They'll see me here. My mom looked at me and without hesitation put the car in drive. We rolled out of the parking lot, but as I looked around, there was nobody else there. Shouldn't your mom be here by now? Maybe she's late. I didn't want to question someone going through so much trauma and just tried to stay calm. My mom looked really worried too. I heard on the news to be careful. There's been countless abductions lately. Don't worry, honey. I'm taking you straight to the police station. It's just up the road. But then she said something weird. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need police for sure. You'll see. Something about the way she said it felt off. But just as she said that, I thought about how I had never actually seen her in any of my classes before. I said, So what grade are you in again? Grade 8? Same as me. I asked, Oh, which teacher do you have? But when I asked her that, she just stared at me. She didn't say anything, just sitting there in silence. This was getting really weird now. But before I could say anything else, I saw the reflection of the flashing lights. There was a police SUV coming up behind us, then another, and then a third. One came from the front, forcing us to stop and boxing us in. Police! Get your ass out of the car now! My mom was in shock. Get out of the vehicle now! They all jumped out of their cars and hid behind the doors with their weapons drawn. Mom, what's happening? But as I looked at the girl, she didn't say anything. The cops slowly approached the vehicle, and we all had our hands up, and I could hear my mom breathing heavily as she stepped out. Officers, what did we do? You're under arrest for kidnapping this young girl. Wait, what? My mom screamed. No, you don't understand. She's in danger. Her mom was trying to sell her. But then an older woman stepped out from behind the cops, and as soon as she did, the girl ran up to her and yelled, Mom, thank God! Okay, what the hell? Now we were the ones confused and terrified. Her mom screamed at us. That's the woman who kidnapped my daughter from school. Arrest her now! My mom's face went from confused to devastated in half a second. What? No! She told us she was in danger! But the cops didn't care. They grabbed my mom and slapped cuffs on her wrists. One of them told her they'd put her in the mental ward if she kept talking all that crazy. But just then I jumped out of the car yelling, No, please! That girl lied to us! She doesn't even go to our school! But her mom already had an excuse. Yes, she does! Look at her backpack! It has the school logo on it! But when I said that, I noticed the cops looking at her weird, like they didn't know who was telling the truth. One of the cops said, Wait, Highwood Middle School? You go there? The girl nodded quickly, but she looked nervous. So you have classes with Marcus Chen? She instantly said, Yes, we're really good friends. But the second she said that, he took out his handcuffs and put them on the woman and her daughter. He knew they were lying now. The woman yelled, Wait, what? What did we do? But he said, Ma'am, there is no Marcus Chen. Everyone knows that's just a fake AI name. The woman tried to run, but 2 officers grabbed her before she made it 3 steps. Turns out their plan was to fake a kidnapping, get the police to arrest us, and then sue us for everything we own. Besides, who doesn't know Marcus Chen is AI?